Ooh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Scarred Thumb Podcast. I'm David, your host, and I got my audio working. As always, I can't restart OBS without um, one of all my audio devices being forgotten. The constant struggle of streamers. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, especially with audio. I don't know what it is, but audio just seems like cursed. If anything's cursed, it's going to be in the audio department. It just never could stay consistent. But today, the Video Game Award, we're going to talk about the Video Game Award. I've said it's crazy because it feels like I talked about it not that long ago, but I guess it's been a year at this point. It's been a year since the last Video Game Awards, and it's kind of crazy to think. I mean, the year just goes by sometimes, just instantly. It feels like we've already completed another year. I don't know what's going. I don't know. Let me do a little audio engineering here. Turn up the volume. I don't want to peak, but I also want to be loud enough. Good morning, X-Runner. Good morning, Deborah. So let's get into the 2025 Video Game Awards. And Claire Obscura Expedition 33, like predicted, won a ton of awards. I think almost 8 was the final number, and you go the winners. And just to the reason I don't like the Video Game Awards, just to sort of recap, I said it last year, but you never know. You always want to. Don't want people. Hey, if you didn't listen to me last year, you got to go back. I mean, my big thing with the Video Game Awards is it's a celebration, not really of gameplay. It seems like the exact opposite. It's a celebration of everything but gameplay, because it's this huge production. It's wannabe Hollywood. The people that get rewarded for this aren't real like games. They're games that sort of throw in all those movies and cutscenes and voice acting. These big production games. And I think it's one of the reasons that the costs of video games are humongous. Where, even though, Expedition 33 winning all these awards had like a budget of $10 million, which, for an indie game is a lot, but they did quite well on a smaller budget. But everything else, it's just a trip. It's really a celebration of AAA for the most part at this point. And I feel like it's not doing what I think it should do. The ideal Video Game Awards with stuff that actually focuses in on gameplay and not sort of video games as content. But there really is nothing in the show that says like, hey, this was super innovative mechanic, or this is a really super innovative design. It's just like, hey, this looked cool and it was fun. Which at the surface level, maybe for like a normal people that is something, but it's not really not really deep in any sense. And you look at the categories too, and they suck. Best family game. First of all, like what does that even mean? Best family game means like family friendly, and then like they always kind of throw anything Mario related or Nintendo related into this category. It's like Donkey Kong, but it was a fun game. Donkey Kong Bonanza was a fun game, but it seems like it could never win like Game of the Year. It has to be like serious enough. It has to have weapons or something of that sort to be considered Game of the Year. But who knows? I guess did Astro Boy win last year? Maybe not. But that did all right. That was still kind of family, but it was PlayStation's too, so it helps. It helps if you're Sony. Innovation, accessibility. I have no idea what Doom's Dark Ages did to support accessibility. But again, accessibility is such a small thing, and it's just some leftist garbage term that they use to virtue signal. is essentially what it is. I mean, could we not have a gameplay like category, or no? Is that too hard? Is that too subjective? Best esport is a worthless category. Same with anything esport related is a worthless category. Counter-Strike 2 won it. Whoop-de-doo. Best mobile game, another pretty worthless category, to be honest. Usume Pretty Derby, which a fun game. I enjoyed it for a while. But I mean, mobile games just end up being gotcha slop 90% of the time. Best independent game, Clair Obscura. People were kind of upset. Some indie guys were upset that this won. I guess maybe it's technically indie. I mean, it did have a publisher, but it also had like a budget of $10 million. So I could kind of get the guys that are like in their garage, like stringing computers together, you know, just with like a budget of, you know, 10,000 or less, maybe like $10 is their budget, is their production budget. They're like, oh, this one best independent game, that's cool. That's cool. Let me just find, maybe if I get a $10 million budget, I can win best independent game. It's it does feel like at what point it, you know, is double. I mean, Clair Obscura is probably like what you could call a AA game at that point when you have a budget of 10 million. I mean, it's almost a budget what, you know, Pokemon ZA had. And it's a major game. So I could see why people are kind of annoyed. It's like, good, wow. If I could get, you know, fully animated budget for a fully animated cutscenes and voice acting and a mocap, yeah, that maybe I could get a video game award. But let's move on. Best adaptation. Adaption's just crap. And that's not even a video game. Best action game, Hades. I'm surprised that won. But I mean, I get the cat. Let me go to the categories actually, so we could get kind of look. Game of the year. I think Silk Song deserved it over Clair Obscura, but all these other games seem all right. Game direction, Clair Obscura won. I'm surprised Split Fiction didn't win anything. It was quite liked by a lot of people. Death Stranding also seemed pretty cool. Ghost of Yotai, I don't think what a single thing. That's pretty funny. Hey, good morning, good to see you. Good to see you. Best adaptation, we already covered. It sucks. Minecraft movie, Devil May. All these things look awful. All the Splinter Cell look like shit too. I have no idea what Until Dawn is, but I'm sure it's bad. Best narrative, Clair Obscura. Again, narrative gets a category. Narrative gets a category. Gameplay gets no categories. Best art direction, I would have given it to Silk Song too, but because I love the 2D graphics. But you never know. Best music and score, Clair Obscura winning that. I don't know enough about any of these games to know about the score. Donkey Kong Bonanza's not on music and score. Give me a break. Best audio design, Battlefield 6 was the winner. I haven't played any of these games, so couldn't judge either way. It's so funny with video game awards. Almost always, I don't think I played a single Game of the Year winner for the past like 5 years. Maybe since Breath of the Wild one, if I actually played the Game of the Year, and half these things like I've never played either. So it feels so disconnected. Best performance, and then again, this is a performance thing. Narrative, performance, music. I mean, yes, music and score is still fairly. You don't need music in a video game, though. I mean, it's really nice, but you don't need it. You need sound. You need audio design, for sure. But music isn't necessary. Performance, innovation, accessibility, and so much of this stuff. Games for Impact is strictly the DEI woke virtue signal thing. And South of Midnight, which is like this all-black cast, you know, it's just DEI, the award that they gotta give a nod to. Best ongoing game is a shit category. It's just like live service. We like live service. The industry loves live service. Why not have it? No Man's Sky winning over Helldivers 2 and Fortnite and all these people. Community support is a whatever category. Again, nothing to do with video games. I guess it's nice from a consumer's perspective, but maybe this is the Consumer Game Awards. Best independent game, Clair Obscura winning over I would have given to Hollow Knight myself, but it's like Hades 2. A lot of these seem like they got pretty decent budgets behind it. Blueprints, Ball X Pit. I don't know about Ball X Pit. None of them are like super small. Well, I don't know about Absalom. I don't know enough about some of these, but they seem to have pretty decent production behind them. Best indie debut game, Clair Obscura winning that. Best mobile game, Usame Pretty Derby. Sonic Rumble I never played. I guess there is stuff that isn't gacha games, but Musume, the gacha game, won it. Well, Withering Waves is also a gacha game. Best VR. Why does this get a category? Is what kills me. Versus this gets a category. And this, I said it last year. I'm going to say it again this year. You go, less VR/AR game gets a category. And then you go down to action game. And you have Battlefield 6 is a first-person shooter. Doom the Dark Age is a first-person shooter. Hades 2 is like this roguelike ARPG, like with the 3.5 perspective. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a 3D action game, or character action game as they call it. Shinobi Art of Vengeance is a 2D action game. These are so dramatically different. Like you could say these two should be in a category with each other, but Hades 2 should be its own thing. Shinobi Art of Vengeance should be its own thing, or at least in some sort of category with like a 2D action game. Ninja Gaiden 4, do you have enough character action games to make it? Probably. I would rather have a character action category, a first-person shooter category, than have a VR/AR. This is just like to push some bullshit, some industry bullshit that they want to happen. VR games are just first-person shooter games with more hardware at this point. But I don't know. Is Meta giving them money to push this crap? I don't know. It sucks that this is such a loaded category of such dramatically different games. And meanwhile, RPG gets its own category. What sense does it make? And then you go to best action adventure game. Death Stranding is totally different than Silksong. Silksong's 2D. Split Fiction isn't. Neither is Indiana Jones The Great Circle. That's, I think, first-person shooter. This is a third-person. To me, like Ghost of Yotai and Ninja Gaiden 4 would fit better in their own category. But I don't know, or even like Death Stranding is at least like a third-person video game, but whatever. Silksong actually winning a award is pretty cool. Still, like, this is the action game category and action adventure is so loaded and different from each other. And then you got RPG and fighting game gets its own category, which, I haven't played fighting games forever. Fatal Fury City of Wolves winning. Some people were saying that the Saudi Arabians gave them a lot of money, which is so apparently advertising. But you have to wonder if it's advertised. Does that not affect your awards? The voting at all? The fact that they gave a ton of money. To me, it seems like it would mean something. But that's just me. Best family game, and then it's like stuff like Lego Party, Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Split Fiction. I don't even know what family game means. It's just like family friendly, I guess. But it's not like I'd almost rather have like family category be like couch co-op or something like that. That'd make a better category. And then you have Sim strategy game. Final Fantasy Tactics winning it is kind of bizarre. I mean, it's a great game, but it's also super old. It's just a remake, but I guess, remakes, re-releases, they can still win. I mean, great game, for sure. But, I mean, is there anything about the remake that makes it better than your initial release? I think you'd almost have to make that case if you want to give it another award. But, again, this video game awards don't really mean anything. Sports and racing game get their own category, and Mario Kart World won that. Best multiplayer, Arc Raiders winning. I think Night Rain should have won, personally. Great multiplayer game to play with people. Peak shouldn't even. I hated Peak. Peak should not even be in this category. Period. It should not have gotten an award. It's garbage. It is absolute trash. But it's just like random generated. Half of it's just random generated junk. It's friend slop essentially. But That's here nor there. And then most anticipated game, of course, has to get a category because this is how you please your advertisers, I guess. And Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, Grand Theft Auto 6 won it again, since they might win it in 2026 too if they keep delaying it. You never know. Content creator, this gets a category, and then you have to throw in action adventures, and you have to make these two shove like 5 different, what probably should be like 5 or 6 different awards into these 2 categories. But you give Content Creator of the Year an award, or Best Esports Game. Oh, wait, it's awful. Voice Critical winning, woo. And then like a bunch of people you never heard of. Player's Voice is like the, hey, we let you vote. And of course, Gotcha Slop wins Withering Waves, as, you know, just a bunch of sycophants vote for their game that they want. Withering Waves has the most, like, little brother complex community ever. It's like, we're better than Genshin Impact. We're better than MiHoYo. We're different. They're the same game. They're the same game as any other gacha game. But that is the Video Game Awards. It's always a big event. Lots of reveals put in it, but never something that really interests me. It more than often just pisses me off to cover it. Hey, good morning, Silver Bishop. Expedition 33 is such an inspiring story for independent creators such as myself. It shows that success is available for the little guys like us. I just need to be a high-ranking individual at one of the biggest companies in the industry and have a family of multi-millionaire CEOs. I mean, the guy between one of the presidents or CEOs of whatever Sandfall Games has a very rich family, for sure. And of course, you know, it did work at Ubisoft. It completely deserves Game of the Year, but Best Indie Game, Get Out of Town. This is another, like, independent creator. Of course, there's a trans flag, so take that with a grain of salt. But even then, I think they make a pretty good point that Claire Obscura had a lot going for it. That I think, you know, the guy you think of like an indie creator, you know, it's just like a group of guys, 3 or 4 guys, you know, programming a game like Hollow Knight was, you know, like Hollow Knight or something like what's the game I'm blanking on right now? Lethal Company, which is like one guy making a game. If that's what you think of indie, not necessarily this, but it won 9 awards. I was wrong. I said 8, won 9, so it's doing insanely well. And Team Cherry, direct, no PR, no mincing words. Game Awards, nah. I mean, and they called it. They're not broadly palatable. It's a 2D action game that's quite difficult. So they knew Claire Obscuri was going to win a ton of awards, and that they probably won't. They won 1, I think. I think that might have been it. Which is a shame because it was probably one of the best overall, like, you see in terms of like production, just the volume of gameplay and the design of the enemies. It's probably one of the most, probably the best or like complete game I played. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it was definitely just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous artwork, absolutely great music and sound design. Enemy design was really difficult. They're clearly put in a ton of work into the game, and it deserved more, but it just, you know, it's, and I guess apparently Geoff made a comment that they won Best Action Adventure. Say, see, you guys did win. Wow. And like, again, one of the worst categories ever. The Action Adventure one is just a disgrace of a category in terms of just what they allow in it. It's just so compacted, so many like good genres of games into one. It's really sad. But I'm going to move on. This won Best Art Direction and 8 other awards. And this is just actually a cutscene at the end of it, to be fair, where it's like you win, and then you get this long slow-mo. He took the thing and now he's gonna stab him with it. Yeah. Defeating the enemy with their own weapon. And it's like victory. It's got all this. It's got all the good stuff that the modern audience wants. Slowdowns, numbers going up, cutscenes at the end of a fight. No button presses needed for a 30 plus seconds, so. Congratulations to the white person game. That's why some people are saying that's why Clair Obscura won, because it had a bunch of white people in it. I don't know if that's true, but maybe. One of the things, I didn't cover it last week because I was covering Metroid Prime all day. The class of Clair Obscura has called for more awards, not related to gameplay. Wow. They're saying that the mocap performers deserve awards and supporting actors, that we need another award for cutscenes. Wow. Yeah, they probably will add that. Like I've said before, like anything but gameplay. That's what the industry wants. Anything but focusing on gameplay is what the awards they want. So I'm sure they will add in mocap event. Maybe next year. The mocap supporting actor. Let's just make it Oscars at this point. Forget gameplay. Best game design, yeah, right. Technical achievement, maybe DLC expand. Who are these people? Remake, remaster. They shouldn't give any remake or remaster award. That would be the ideal, but this is what people want. And one of the things, nice to Game Awards to give everyone a bathroom break. So they got to throw in this bullshit. Girls make games. I find it absolutely crazy how they give an award to these girls simply for the fact that they're women in the industry and not because they actually brought anything actually new or interesting. Because girls won't bring anything new, interesting, or noteworthy to the table in regards to games and gameplay. That'll never happen, most likely. And if it will, it'll probably be this like random autistic lady that making this small game that like no one will give a rat's ass about because it's too innovative or it's not, doesn't have 30-second cutscenes where you do like some freaking flips and shit. Clair Obscura did one of the impossible things. It made me like the French. Good old French. They wore. I don't know if you saw. Did they show it at all? Did they show it in the article? They wore a bunch of like French garbs when they accepted their awards. I don't think we'll see it in here, but it was kind of funny. Okami destroyed a gun and ball game. I don't understand what this ball and gun. I think it was coined by a black guy, but it seems kind of implying that black people enjoy that kind of stuff. But maybe it is where it's like it's the guy that likes sports games and shooting games. The old Call of Duty guy. I like Madden and Call of Duty type of player. Is the ball and gun gamer. Okay. I don't know why I still loathe Geoff for this stuff last year, and this was the Okami announcement. So there's a new slang just dropped for black people, I think. So I'm for it. Speaking of black people, South of Midnight. Congratulations to legend Ahmed Best, who won Video Game Awards Impact Award for video game he directed, South of Midnight, and then it was the voice acting and motion capture, not the game as a whole. That directed just the mocap and voice acting. Again, just a DEI thing that like nobody played. I guess if you do like an all black game, you can get funding to make a mediocre, but have money to. Again, it's just like redistribution. You could pay a bunch of black actors to do mocap and play people to program. Like apparently the other people behind him are white too. I like this picture of Gold Ship looking over. This is the guy from Withering Waves as Uma Musume defeats the Wuwa people. A big win.
And now I have another award. These nominees are games that never leave you because they're on your phone. Here are the nominees for Best Mobile Game. Destiny Rising, Persona 5 The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Umamasume Pretty Derby, and Wuthering
That got the
Waves.
biggest cheer. No one cheered for Wuthering Waves.
Umamasume Pretty Derby.
It is a tremendous honor to receive this amazing
He could speak
award.
English. Wow.
This was only possible with the support of our fans. I deeply appreciate all the enormous trainers out there.
Appreciate.
To the people who are not familiar with games, we are dedicated to being the best entertainment. We will promise you more wild contents coming, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Winning it. But that's it for the well, actually there's a little more. But this was another thing I kind of threw in. This is a Pragmata demo. I think this is coming out from Capcom. Where it's showing like different things. This is like kind of interesting where you're shooting it. You have these sort of, but you have to, if you look, you get on the right, you have to sort of like do these like puzzle solving stuff to like shoot your gun. I mean, I don't know if this is good or not. Apparently there's a demo out. I don't know if it's going to be on Steam though. At least it's something different. It does look kind of unique. Where you have this, like, honestly, actually, is this like Donkey Kong Country now that I think about it? You have this big guy and now you have a little girl riding on their back. Is this like a thing now? You have Donkey Kong Bonanza came out last year. And now, is this similar? Is this Bonanza with guns? I guess not, but it is kind of funny that you have, I guess this little girl's like some sort of like robot AI type of thing that helps you solve some of these puzzles. Again, very much like Donkey Kong Bonanza, where she just opens up. Of course, I don't think Pauline helped you in combat, but she does help you transform. You got some weird traversal. You have to like grab stuff. I have no idea what this stuff means, but it's a new thing for defeating enemies. The visuals are quite impressive. It's almost like you have to do like this tactical shooter with a little bit of action. I assume like this gives you maybe different stuff. So at some point you have to like defense. I assume that's defense down, and then I don't know if this does like power. So like increases you. So it starts at 99 damage. Oh, and the blue stuff increases damage, and then that completes it. So maybe you could, at some point, you can go around and decide if you want more damage or you want to shoot faster. It has potential. I don't know. It does seem a little bizarre. And then you can just shoot your stuff. Ooh, this grip gun does not seem good. Oh, I guess you can recharge your bullets here. I'm not crazy about this guy, how slow this guy moves. Unless he's going to kill you in one shot. It seems a little bit long. So hopefully it's hard enough, but we'll see. Another big announcement. The return of the Blue Bomber. I want to be psyched about some orchestra playing video game music, but for some reason it being used for just the purpose of advertisement kind of it just doesn't sit quite right with me. Got the little Mega Man ditty we're going on. some door opening. And the silhouette. It's Mega Man. And it's normal Mega Man, not X. Capcom. No gameplay shown. That's what the Video Game Awards is all about. No gameplay. Oh, here we go. It shows some gameplay afterwards. Let's see. They go in. Interesting background here. What I don't like immediately, and I wasn't super impressed by this Mega Man thing, is just how much the objects in the foreground kind of blend into the object in the background. One of the thing about like 3D games, and this has happened in a lot of 3D games versus like sprite-based or 2D, is that they do tend to do this. This seems pretty fun. I mean, standard like sort of 2D. I feel like playing Gravity Circuit had a more compelling sort of art direction. This just looks very generic at this point. Like, it could be a bit of mobile game, but it's called Mega Man Dual Override. We'll see. Hopefully it has some interesting mechanics in it that are going to make it kind of interesting. We'll see. Coming to all systems and PC. So that'll be nice. You can play it on whatever system you want.
For years, this was the year in 2027.
Mega Man's coming back.
You got a very early glimpse at first gameplay. The team really wanted to share that with you tonight.
So this is an early glimpse. It's coming out 2027. So we'll see what they got cooking behind the scenes. This is Dual Override coming out in 2027. And funny enough, they're holding a master design art contest, the Robot Masters. You can design your own, and they've done this a lot before, where they let fans design their own Robot Masters and put them in game. This is from Brazil, so it's got some Spanish stuff. But what's really cool is, if you're not familiar with Yosuke Murata, he is the artist of One Punch Man manga, the one that looks good, not the webcomic, not the original sort of like writer and artist for it, but the guy that kind of redesigned it as a manga. He has participated and had 2 Robot Master designs selected in contests that took place in the 90s in Japan. The Dust Man from Mega Man 4 and Crystal Man from Mega Man 5. It's a revival of old tradition. They're hoping Murata takes place, and he's the one that did the artwork for this poster, which is insane. Insane level of design. He's just an incredibly good manga artist. And some of his stuff looks fantastic. Then he did Dust Man here and Crystal Man. Very cool. Very cool to see like even professional manga artists take place in some of these designs. Of course, I guess they get pretty cool to get famous artists to design stuff for free for you, so you can put them in your game. But that's very cool. And I was like wondering, is this legit? And yes, apparently. So Mega Man 3 got a special thanks. Mega Man 4, he got the Dust Man design, and Mega Man 5, he got the Crystal Man design. So it's been a thing. He's legit in gaming history. Popular manga, the mangaka, as they call it. One of the things of Video Game Awards, a 3-minute trailer from the Game Awards cost $1 million. So just humongous this is what it's all about, is selling advertising, is what the Video Game Awards become. And there was the sort of final announcement of the Video Game Awards end up being a hero shooter, much like Concord, and people are already calling this the next Concord. Igard is sitting at the golden Concord dislike ratio on YouTube. It's hard to understate how tired people are of new live hero shooters, which may not be true because Marvel Rivals came after Concord and did exceptionally well. So I don't think they're necessarily tired of live hero shooters. They just want something that's different. And Capcom, well, maybe not even just different, just something with an actual like art direction. And this is High Guard. So would just say just cancel the game. No game with this kind of dislike ratio has ever been successful. So let's take a look at the trailer here.
You know, sometimes our last reveal at the Game Awards is a teaser for something years and years away. But not tonight. Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall. 4 years ago, the principals founded a new independent studio with the hopes of pushing the shooter genre forward with a new original game. They've done it in complete secrecy, which is even more amazing because the game is very deep into development. The power of independent, self-published studios to push this medium forward is a growing and I think positive theme in our industry. And so tonight, you're not only going to get the announcement of the game, but also your first look at the gameplay. I've played it, and after you see this trailer, I think you're going to want to as well. Welcome to High Guard.
You're going to want to play it as well, people.
To lands uncharted.
This is already... The second you see this character design, it's already over. It's the guy with generic brown skin, brown hair, got this weird fade shit going on, ethnic fade. And this is supposed to be, I assume, a Viking game. Generic looking armor.
I venture without fear.
And then he gets on a horse. It's like guns and horses.
I fight to the end.
And they got axes. So they're trying to do this weird sort of hybrid of it's Vikings, but guns and machines. You ride on horses, spirit horses. Magic horses, I guess. There's demons of some sort. You can break in. You can slash with their claws.
Bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat. Also, like, notice there's a new breed apparently. How is it different than the map designs? Like, how's it different beyond just the setting? Which, even the setting doesn't seem like it's fully committed to one or another. One thing or another.
Your light belongs to me.
Moving in for the attack.
Moving in for the attack. That's really... Never heard that in a good game thing, too. Like this generic, like, soldier talk. It's funny, like, Sam Hyde, I think, has, like, he made this whole series called The Great War. It's a very low budget, but it kind of makes fun of all of this stuff where it's like, man, enemies. We got to get the enemies, man. I can't believe it just makes fun of all this. This talk is so generic, and even just like run like an AI of an AI script making an action movie, and you're gonna hear the same type of dialogue. You can throw blades too, and you get a sword, which maybe it's a power-up.
Siege tower coming in.
Just so much crap together. Like, it has swords, and it's a first-person shooter, and you have a tank.
The enemy is on gate.
I'm coming for you.
enemies at our gate. Whoa. The way he said it's my turn, that's really unique.
I am the coming storm.
This just looks like Farrah's ult. Now he's super angry. And he like gets claws, and then he immediately like gets these like demon claws, and then he immediately pulls out a gun and starts shooting people with the 6-shooter. It's McCree, Viking McCree.
I am a warden, and this is my oath.
I just hate their main character design so much. Like, if you're gonna be Vikings, why not have like this Aryan guy with like long hair? He looks so just brown, nothing guy.
This is my oath.
Play free. We can play for free, guys. Which means there's going to have a shitload of loot boxes on it. Well, I mean, I think free to play hero shooter definitely helps people adopt it and get in, because you can get your guys in there. You just have to download it, make an account and download. So it is easier to get your friends. A legal check from a female lawyer. It just, everything about it feels, it's like this mishmash of stuff that I guess is unique in a sense. That you have horses and Vikings and tanks and guns together. I mean, that combination has never been done together, but at the same time, it feels so generic. Like, how do you do that? How do you add so many like different things and come up with something that feels like you've seen it like 20 times before? But they've done it.
Pretty crazy. That's
and people have shown their dislike.
Weeks on PC, PlayStation,
and they have no time to change it. They've got a. How do you feel as a studio where your trailer has the Concord like to dislike ratio after your big reveal, and you have 7 weeks? That has got to be stressful. I don't know how you do in that situation. Like, oh crap, this isn't good. Thankfully, it's not $40, so that's something.
An Xbox. It is insanely fun to see.
We will see how Highguard does. I assume it's going to fail. Just based on the quality, I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem like this character looks like nothing. I mean, this character isn't exciting. I mean, at least semi-feminine. Same thing with like the redhead. Where did the redhead pull out the sword at? The redhead that poured out the sword is kind of what?
Shield breaker forming.
The shield breaker. Wait, where did she pull out the sword at? I had her on the cover, but I don't know where that came. What point? I mean, that other redhead that looks all right, but I mean, it's still kind of like the safe character design. It's not. It just doesn't have the same appeal. Like Marvel Rivals at least had the sort of Marvel characters to bank on. You know, established characters that have, you know, designs that have kind of stood the test of time and been interesting. This kind of stuff does not. Like sword throw lady. Oh, wait, this is the part. I mean, she's showing a little bit of skin. You can see she has breasts. I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't seem super unique. It just doesn't. There's nothing there. There's no spark there. I don't know. It just something missing. Yeah, people know. They couldn't precisely explain like exactly what it is, but people know when they see it, when there's something there. This just like, look at the shot. Dead face just shooting a gun. I don't know. I just don't feel anything when I see that. And they show no gameplay, so I mean, I guess they do kind of show gameplay, but it's so like spliced in with cutscenes. It might have been better just to show like an actual like. Well, I guess when you're paying like, how much money was that? A few million. $1 million. I guess you need to show as much as you can of your fancy stuff. I guess it was over a minute. The 3-minute was that 3-minute trailer. That's $1 million. They probably had to pay $1 million or a few $1 million to get this shown. Good luck. Good luck. But let's move on. Video Game Awards is over. This is, I thought, was a really interesting picture. So this is Elias Dollar. It was just Elias Dollar on X. After many hours of searching, I finally found a pic which explains why 3:4 aspect ratio feels comfier than 16:19. I understand why some people prefer 16:19, but to me, 4:3 just feels right. It frames everything better and makes me concentrate more on the action in the middle. And he kind of brings up, I like 16:19 especially. I like 16:19 especially bad in top-down games. It looks so asymmetrical. In third-person games, a lot of the time the field of view feels too big and stuff gets disoriented on the sides of the screen. In 2D platformers, you see too many things on screen at once. And this is 16:19. It's like Mario kind of remade. I think he does make a really solid point about 16:19 games. He kind of follows up that a lot of people are focused on the UI, but I feel like it's not the only issue here, the whole picture. Which I think the UI, you can make an argument that it's better or not. I'm not really interested in the UI. I'm mostly interested on the actual gameplay. And I think especially with 2D games, it makes a huge difference because with 2D, that is the play field. It's not just your perspective. It's actual play field of what's going on at a time. And this was, we covered it, I don't know, it was not last week, but the week before. There was between like Windswept and Donkey Kong 64. Where you have like a game like this, where you see like so much of it. And the characters being smaller are a design choice too by the director, or by the people that made the game. Versus something like Donkey Kong 64, where far more zoomed in, you have a much smaller sort of field of view, and the actual like play screen is much smaller. So like when you go onto the screen, like the enemies aren't active until they're revealed, by the screen. And immediately, like this is immediately right when you walk onto the screen, you have the enemies starting to attack. They become a threat immediately because you have this smaller play screen. So they're just become an immediate threat that you have to deal with. With games like Windswept, that's not the case. They're not an immediate threat. They're just, you have a lot more time to react to it. And when you're running, I guess it's nice for maybe like horizontal platforming because you have more time to like react when you're going quickly. This thing like, okay, I need to jump here. I need to jump here. You could see the enemies coming, but in some ways that also can kind of make it a little more boring if you give too much time to react to stuff. It just becomes a little bit not quite as exciting when you have an extra like half a second to react to it. This immediately you have to say, oh, there's an enemy. I got to do something about it. I got to jump. I got to try and kill him. Another game I really enjoyed that decided to go with 4:3 aspect ratio is that Chrono Gear Warden of Time. Again, this is immediately like right, especially with the way they zoomed in, right as this enemy comes onto screen, he's an immediate threat. And not to mention with some of like the maze designs, it's a lot easier to sort of make those when you were kind of zoomed in. If you had extra room, you could see extra stuff. It's not quite as intense. Freedom Planet kind of did it differently. They went with the 1916, the modern sort of widescreen, but they did have sort of dynamic zoom to kind of help, so you could see like all of like the puzzles and see how all this is connected. You also have this. I mean, like it zooms back in, and it's pretty intimate too. Even though it's 16 and 19, it has parts where it zooms in enough, and it zooms out when it needs to be, like when you need to see multiple objects. They kind of worked around it, but they did a lot of work to do that. So this is quite a bit of effort just to deal with the problem. And in this Chrono Gear, this took 7 years. This game, Chrono Gear, took 2 years. So they put in a lot of work to kind of deal with the issue of aspect ratio. And it also, in Freedom Planet, you go so fast that sometimes having a little bit of extra reaction time isn't that big a deal. You kind of need it in some points when you're going quicker. Well, that was really an interesting thing, and I don't think people realize that hardware, even now, like you don't have the hardware limitations of the past, which the limitations did create very interesting game design, but now you have limitations in the fact that a lot of people don't want to play a 4-3 game, or everyone knows, anyone that's played like a vertical shoot 'em up in 1619 realizes it sucks. It makes the playfield way too wide. It has to be a specific aspect ratio. As I've shown on my countdown here, I mean, if you just look at this, you can see like it has to be that thin, or the game just doesn't work if it's not this thin. If it's not sort of Blue Revolver, it has to be this thin, or like the shots, you just have too much room to micro dodge. It just doesn't work. You have to have this specific aspect ratio for this genre to work. It's like, if you made a football field square, it would be totally different. The game would be played completely different. It wouldn't feel like football anymore. If you made like a baseball field a circle, it would dramatically change how the game's played. You just can't change the play field and not expect the game to change, the gameplay to change. It has to be done this way. And the fact that just the sort of casual customer, that they still want to capture that sort of money, likes to play in like widescreen mode, does affect how decisions are made. Like, I don't think you'd ever see a AAA game force itself into a 4:3 or a sort of vertical aspect ratio like this, where, even in this, you look at half the screen is basically not used in this, and that's wild to think that any game, like with any production budget, would ever do this, and they probably won't. So this type of gameplay is basically dead from a like major studio perspective. It's completely on indies to kind of push this. I mean, maybe if like an indie game really took off with this aspect ratio, you might see more of it used, but doesn't seem likely to happen. That's something that you never think about, but is always in the background. Just the hardware and what screen people are playing on. It's crazy to think about. But let's move on. We're going to our next story. A little bit of news. No, I don't want to sign into Bloomberg. Please get this crap off my screen. How do I get rid of it? Bloomberg. Here we go. This is by Dracian Schreider. Aw, come on. Will it not let me? It was letting me read this last week, but now I need to get this crap. Screw you, Bloomberg. So the hit. Let me see if I can find internet. I should have just gone immediately to Internet Archive or archive, whatever. Archive.org. Where is it? Let's see if I can find this. I'll have to be more astute on this to... Why can't I spell archive? What's it? Archive.org? Wayback Machine. Let's see. Do they have this? No. There was a different one. I forget what it was. Let's see. Oh, well. So, this article, I'll just have to try and explain it, I guess. Basically said Yacht Club Games, they need this to be successful. They need, despite the fact that Yacht Club Games is the people that made Shovel Knight, essentially, they need this game to be successful. You'd think, after making like the super popular game, Shovel Knight, the expansions I think have done very well too. Unfortunately, they've been sort of struggling to get a new game out. They had development on a 3D Shovel Knight, which they've had to shelve for the time being to focus exclusively on Mina the Hollower. And Mina the Hollower was a very good game. I mean, you could kind of see some of the... It does seem like a really cool sort of 2D, almost reminiscent of the... almost like a Game Boy or, Link's Adventure type of thing.
Could you let us know, like, a little bit about, like, the mechanics surrounding, like, how did the game work? What does the player do in the game?
Okay, so Mina, in the title, Mina is a hollower. Hollowing is basically the main mechanic of the game. So Mina,
Hollowing?
though being an
What does that even
adventure,
mean?
it is kind of like a Souls-like as well, but it also has
Souls-like?
RPG elements
I
as well.
hate this.
So we combined all those things
It's a
together.
Souls-like.
Basically, as Mina, you hollow around and you attack
What does hollowing mean, lady?
enemies with your different weapons. You can choose through 5 through the game. In the beginning, you choose from 3, but you can find the other ones with 2 additional.
That's not...
All
Hollowing's
around the world,
not
so you
a
get to play with
verb.
different combat. In addition to that,
You make things hollow?
Which are different abilities. You also can equip trinkets, which I like to call them like the yes and abilities.
Nice.
And depending on what you're choosing for your Mina's level up system, if you want to put everything in attack or you want to put it
So it has basically stuff like Zelda 2,
defense or in sidearms or whatever.
where it's like you level up and then you can choose like, hey, you want more attack, you want more defense, you want some items or gold or some shit.
You basically be creating like a monstrous Mina machine of power. It's really awesome.
That's awesome.
I throw all my stuff into attack. And it is like a platforming and attack, action kind of adventure stuff. It does look quite fun. I played the demo, really enjoyed it. But the idea that they need this to succeed, they're basically saying this needs to sell like 400K copies, or maybe it was like 200K to be okay. But they really need this to be like a big seller, or they're going to be in trouble. They say if like it's sold 100K, they're going to be in trouble. The studio's in trouble if they don't break over 100K. They might have to shut down. And to me, that's wild. After you had such a successful game, but I guess any studios like that, smaller studios, if you're not running on really tight margins, each game could be do or die for you. And you don't have sort of like big, EA money or Capcom, a big publisher money coming in to help lighten it. For every time she says hollowing, all I hear is "We're mind broken by Team Cherry and Hollow Knight." It is kind of funny that they do kind of exist in that same space and using hollow as a word. It's another story that kind of came out. This was Hytale. I don't know why people are, guys like some of the anti-woke crowd are kind of shitting on Hytale for this. So Hytale is skipping a Steam initial to avoid negative reviews. Console launch. Apparently they're afraid of customer feedback. Which, I mean, the lead has been like, everything's wrong with this game. That's why I'm not putting it on Steam. And like P-Rat Software actually deleted his post about it as well. Because, which I guess is all right, because I think he felt like was being unfair, perhaps. But I mean, guys like Daka like won't release it Steam to avoid user reviews, guaranteed slop. I mean, you can make the argument that it's not. If you try to avoid Steam, is it at a state you should release it to the general public at this point? At what point, are you taking people's money and releasing something that's really unfinished, that there's not necessarily a guarantee you'll complete? But there's also, I think, an argument to be made that you want the community sort of involved. Obviously, you want their money, too. I mean, that's the big thing, is like, you need funds, so you need to get people kind of in it. Feedback's another thing. Will Hytale be on Steam? No, not initially. We want to spend our time in early access working with our existing community to improve the game, rather than chasing a flood of cold first-person impressions that could overcorrect the game direction. That seems a little bit kind of lawyerish speak. That, yeah. Though I do get why. Because Steam, they just like, hey, this sucks, this doesn't work, and then you just get a million negative reviews. It's very first impression. They don't necessarily understand the sort of situation that they're in, so they're trying to release it first to a more understanding audience and get better feedback. I could kind of see that, because I mean, Steam reviews can be it really is just like dislike. It's very one or the other. And once you get like a bunch of negative reviews, it's kind of easy to use that as a way to just dismiss the game. So kind of doing their own thing. I can see why they're doing it, but I've heard some people make the argument like, if it's at this point, why are you even releasing to the public? Why are you taking their money from them? Shouldn't you just put out something that's good enough? And that you could make that point too. So I can see it from that perspective, but I also see the idea of if you're releasing it in really, really early access, you may just want to wait. Where if you need crowdfunding, they are going to have like mod tools available, and people are going to be able to sort of build up their own thing from the top. We'll see. We'll see how Hytale does. It does seem kind of a little bit generic as far as Minecraft kind of things go. How do you actually combine the adventure while still maintaining the sort of sandbox nature of Minecraft? It's really difficult. I don't even know if you can make those two things where you have that sort of open world adventure building aspect of Minecraft and still have the sort of enemy design and level up sort of biome design where you have to sort of level up and upgrade. I mean, Terraria did it pretty well. That was in a 2D space, though, so I think it's kind of easier to make sort of difficult enemy designs in a 2D space. It's much harder, I think, in the 3D space to do that, especially from like a first-person, third-person perspective. It's going to be... They've got a long road ahead of them, so we'll see. I'm in some ways rooting for Hytale and the fact that, it's something that was picked up by Riot. I hate Riot Games, and sort of reclaimed by the original owners. We'll see if they can actually kind of get it back on track. This was another just wild piece of news. Venus Vacation, get this. Venus Vacation Prism, Dead or Alive Extreme, is going to be the first title launch on new Japanese browser-based platform for full console price. The first hour of the game is completely free, while every subsequent 30 minutes will be charged roughly $2 USD. So charging you by the minute. This reminds me of the old 1-900 numbers here. 1-900 these hotlines, those really risque hotlines like phone sex hotlines. If you want to get these girls after the first 30 minutes, you're going to have to pay some money for that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I guess maybe they stopped charging you after you paid like $60 or $70. You pay off the full game. An interesting idea. I mean, Itagaki's dead, so we can't blame this on Itagaki. He's long gone. But is he rolling in his grave right now over this? Maybe. Maybe. I don't get the really interesting pricing structure. Some people are like, oh, they're bringing back, when we wanted arcade design back, we didn't mean, paying by the quarter or paying by the minute. Which, I mean, in arcade designs, it's after you die, at least. There's some skill to saving your quarters if you're really good. This, you just pay every 30 minutes. I have a feeling this is not going to take off as a pricing structure, but at least now, like, maybe if you don't like it in the first hour, you're only losing $2. I guess that's an upside, but absolutely ridiculous. PETA, being the lovely people they are, decided to put this out, and it pissed a lot of people, a lot of Uma Musume fans off. If Musume Pretty Derby were honest, your favorite horse girl doesn't have a comeback arc. One failed event, the race is over forever, just like what happened with the real Silent Suzuka. That's a really awful picture of Silent Suzuka with her leg broken, which did happen to Silent Suzuka did have a fracture in the leg. Of course, people making memes out of it pretty quickly, pointing out the idea that PETA often puts down animals, which they definitely do. PETA says, sorry for taking girl's pet chihuahua and putting it down. Animal Rights Group family pays family $49,000 to settle lawsuit after it seized a dog called Maya, which belonged to a 9-year-old, and put it down. And of course, on the other side, showing that Uma Musume fans have contributed a lot to old retired horses, giving them a lot of support. How Uma Musume community saved Messio, Dota, and the Northern Lake Farm. Musume fans flood donation platform with love for Harura Urara. They gave a lot of ryegrass. That was a really popular thing to sort of feed Harura ryegrass, really high quality food. Just flooding that with donations, supporting retired racehorses. So the community and fans have given a lot of support to old animals that have retired, and of course, PETA has put down many dogs and cats, euthanizing it, and really just the general feeling behind PETA is that humanity is evil, and anybody that any involvement with humans and animals is bad because humans are evil. They're just a net. This idea behind all of it is a sort of hatred for humanity, which is why people just instinctively hate PETA. They know what's going on. So any sort of hunting is bad. Eating animals is bad because humans are evil. I mean, you can't eat other animals, just like the entire animal kingdom is based on animals eating other animals, animals eating plants. It's just the exactual existence. So like this horse racing, which has been around forever, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, horses do get injured sometimes in the races, like any athletes. And sometimes if it's too painful, they get put down. And we act like this is like, it's especially like evil for humans to do this, to race animals or race dogs. I just don't see it. I think the Lord obviously gave us dominion over the world and the animals. And I think this is what they absolutely reject. The idea that humanity is sort of blessed by God and given dominion to look over the world. They want to completely reject that, which, again, ends up causing more harm than good as we just invade. We fill our country with brown people that don't give a crap about the environment. And, of course, you have stuff like India and China, just absolutely horrific in terms of the environmental, in terms of environment and taking care of their own land. Obviously, there's an argument to be made that we shouldn't pollute, shouldn't destroy our environment. I wish there probably was more places where animals could live freely and wilderness and that people can enjoy and explore. And natural parks are a big part of it. We shouldn't just sacrifice that to GDP, but I'm probably ranting too long on this. The general thing behind all of this is the sort of hatred for humanity. And meanwhile, these nerds absolutely love these horses. They take care of the retired horses. They often support a lot of the horses in retirement after they've had their time. And the few horses that are left that are actually in the game get a lot of support from the community and help make their lives better, which PETA does not. Absolutely doesn't. But Metroid Prime was the sales seem pretty bad, honestly. Was the sixth best-selling game in Japan this week, selling 21,000 physical units at launch on Steam. Switch version did not chart in the top 10. For comparison, Dread sold 86,000 physical units in launch in Japan. So far more popular in Japan. I mean, this is, I guess, Prime, you can make an argument it's more of a Western game, but this does not. Want to see a country that destroyed more nature than anybody else? USSR, of course. Communism always does that. There's no ownership of anything, so it just ends up annihilating everything to try and get an authoritarian thing to work. This is what happens when you release God from a society. Is it naturally just hates the entire world? But yeah, doesn't look good. This is an interesting. I think I saw this, and I think it makes a really good point. Mostly, I think Prime 4 suffers from an identity crisis and wants to be a Metroid game, but it's too linear. Again, I don't get the backtracking. People always it's Metroid has to have backtracking. I don't know if backtracking is the best part of Metroid or a good part of Metroid, to be honest. But it is something. It wants to be Zelda, but the puzzles aren't engaging. And this is 100% true. The puzzles are super generic. They're not really that fun. It wants to have engaging characters, but Samus doesn't say anything. I don't agree with this at all. I think you could have engaging characters. I don't think it's needed for Metroid, but I think Samus could be a silent protagonist. It's just these characters suck. Whoever wrote this sucks. You might be able to make characters that are engaging in a Metroid game, but I ultimately just don't think they fit that well. And the characters, the way they're written, are shit. And the way they function in the game are shit, too. Where it's just like, oh, hey, Samus, look at that green liquid there. What are they doing to that green liquid? What does that do? How does that enhance anything? It's annoying and stupid. This is how they wrote these characters. They're not engaging at all. Ridley's an engaging character. he recurs at Mother Brain, I think, is fairly engaging. The pirates behind it, you're like, what are their motivations? You don't necessarily have to have them have speech. To like SAX was a very engaging character. Like, what's going to happen with it? It's more of an enemy, but these are characters. You don't have to have them be like this generic, stupid slop where you're just like, hey, look at that. Oh, she's doing the morph ball. The characters are shit. It has nothing to do with Samus saying anything. But I do agree with the general point that it doesn't have great combat for a shooter. It doesn't have good puzzles in terms of like the adventure aspect of it. The characters are annoying. It just doesn't do anything. It does like quite a few things. It has this open desert area that's boring and dumb. What was it trying to do? It like tried to do like 3 different things. It did none of them all that good. It just doesn't have any focus, and that's one of the biggest issues with Metroid. It's so then this guy got a lot of heat, but he's probably more right than most people. Am I the only one who enjoying Metroid Prime 4 and the new character changes? The new changes introduced to the game. Miles and other characters are incredibly well developed. Oh, this man has no taste. And I genuinely appreciate the interactions between them. While there's a lot of nods to Metroid Prime 1 from the original fans, the game offers more to me than those like me. Nintendo enthusiasts who haven't fully grasped the franchise but are seeking more substantial experience. Substantial? Really? While it may be a departure or evolution of the series, it's a positive step forward. It demonstrates Nintendo and Retro Studios' commitment to expanding and preserving the Metroid legacy. Admittedly, I wasn't particularly invested in Metroids until Prime 4. However, this one piqued my interest, making me eager to explore the other titles of the series. I believe that is what was the intended outcome. It's worth noting that Metroid Prime enthusiasts and content creators tend to seek opinions from fellow fans of Metroid content creators rather than from a spec perspective like mine as new fans. And I think the Spiders STG guy kind of summed it up pretty well. It's so refreshing to hear someone just say it. It's Metroid Prime for people who don't like Metroid. Can we all just acknowledge it's about IP and not the game design or legacy or whatever? They're not making games for you anymore. They're cashing in on the fandoms you built. Very succinct in the way they said it. It's just, hey, let's throw Samus in a crappy Halo, kind of Halo / Zelda Wind Waker or Zelda Breath of the Wild shitty game. It's not made for you, essentially. And this Reese guy talking about, hey, Prime 1 can't be made again. All the people are gone from it. A lot of retros changed. Apparently got a lot of like 4-3 people in it, old Halo people in it. They just can't make Prime 1 anymore. The people are gone. So what you're having right now isn't an iteration, them trying to make Prime better. It's them making Prime different. And then I like this guy. Mild Cherney, a big fan of Pigman. I had this thing where I tended to play smaller, lighter games for about 10 years. So I don't know about Portal or Plants vs. Zombies or Katamari Damacy. Just picked out a list because I thought it was such an involving story. Pull Captain Omari crash lands, and he's got 30 days to reassemble a ship or run out of oxygen and die. And he's sending letters home every day. And for me, it was just transformative. I mean, I guess I'm just a sucker when it comes to story, right? And is it the story, though? But for Pikmin 2, it's totally different. So they're on Earth. They're running around picking up trash on Earth. That's the storyline, if you recall. Literally, you're running around somebody's bathroom floor in Pikmin 2. And in those, you're running around from debt collectors, if I have that right. But yeah, that first Pikmin, yeah. That one I treasure. And talks about how the series started to lose its unique tone and atmosphere in Pikmin 2. How do we tell him? I don't know if he's specifically referencing here, but the difference between Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 really illustrates how gameplay can change the tone of a game, where you have that timer, you have that sort of incoming dread that you need to succeed, or you basically fail. And when you don't have that timer, it totally changes the tone of the game. Like, it's life or death down there. You're exploring, so you have to make the most of every single day. And at some point, that actually probably means you might have to sacrifice pigmen to do it, for, to save yourself. You have to forced to maybe like a fight that you're not 100% prepared for, and then you lose it with pigmen 2. Once you get rid of that timer, you totally change the tone of the game. So that's something that's gameplay related that changes the sort of emotion of the game itself. And that's, I think, probably one of the most, because both games are played quite a bit. They're both beloved. It's a beloved IP. It's a Nintendo, third party or Nintendo first party game. But you see that difference. You see that difference that it makes. And it's a great example of what gameplay does. But man, my throat's starting to go, and I've been 10 hours. Or not. I've been over an hour. So let me leave it here. I think this was a really cool. This is done in Dreams, which is like a game maker. Like, you can make different games. It's a game for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, where you can make these like stages and stuff. And this was just amazing the way this ended up. But this is a stage in Dreams. I love the music from Banjo-Kazooie. Wow, just really impressed that they could do this in that program. But really, really cool. Well, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next Sunday. Let's see if we can. I don't know if there's anyone to redirect to. Let's see. They changed the layout of this thing. And I'm not sure. What? No, that's not it. No. How do you? Let's see. Do you edit? Am I? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. What? Oh, here we go. Let's see. Redirect. I can redirect to my own videos. That's pretty crazy. I don't see Jack or something. They're not streaming, so we're just going to end it here, guys. Talk to you later.